With the 5th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers do they select somebody? Maybe.
We'll see.
Welcome to Chargers Outside Zone. I'm Chuck.
I'm Thomas.
And today we're going to go over the roster as it stands today. We're going to take a look at Daniel Jeremiah's mock drift that we've done in the past years. And we're also going to take a look at your mock draft and get out of here. So it's been a bit since we've done an episode.
Yes.
And we've had an entire off season.
Yes. Other than the Chargers, what move did you like?
So I thought the running back movement was interesting. Two things. Saquon Barkley is going to be wearing a Philadelphia Eagles uniform this year.
Same division, different uniform.
That's just number 2 pick in the draft when he came out, played for the Giants, and now he moves a few miles away to Philly, and is going to be in a Jalen Hurts offense. I think that's awesome. Yes. How about you? What did you think?
2 moves as well. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
All the Madden quarterback moves.
All the Madden quarterback move that the Steelers
get
did.
Russell Wilson, trade Kenny Pickett, trade for Justin Fields.
Yes.
Pretty awesome.
You got the cheapest quarterback room.
Yeah, I think $4.5 million that the Pittsburgh Steelers are spending on quarterbacks.
And then also the Tennessee Titans getting number 0 for the
Calvin Ridley and
Jacksonville Jaguars.
And really the Titans being busy in free agency, Rand Carthon, new head coach Brian Callahan.
Yes.
And they brought in a lot of talent. In the NFC North, over the past 2 years now, the Lions and Bears have swapped running backs.
Which is...
It was quite strange, they have David Montgomery. They let him walk in free agency. Lions sign him. That makes DeAndre Swift available.
Yes.
And he heads off to Philly for a year, but then signs with the Bears. So interesting changing a position or changing the teams for running backs in the NFC North. And the NFC North also has Josh Jacobs this year.
Yes.
So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
All right. What do you say we get into this Chargers roster?
Yes.
And, no real movement at quarterback. The running back room is significantly different with the exit of Austin Eckler. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, both Ravens coming into town. And
basically the Ravens defense, Ravens running back room with just the adamant of Texas A&M running back.
Yeah. And let's see how J.K. Dobbins does coming off that Achilles tear. Yes. He, obviously from an injury perspective,
hope he's healthy.
Hope he's healthy and stays healthy. He's due to stay healthy, right? Well, at fullback, you have the signing of Ben Mason coming in. At tight end, they bring in Hayden Hurst, Will Dissly. You still have Donald Parham, Stone Smart. This really leads me to believe that they're not going to go tight end in the draft.
Yes. Are we going to keep all of those tight ends?
I think if they're healthy, I wouldn't see why not. Stone Smart got on the field last year, and he would be the only one that you might bounce back and forth between the practice squad. But
because
there's plenty of room on this team for 4 tight ends. They've carried 4 for a long time.
Okay.
The wide receiver room
is freaking bare.
And this is not something that we just mentioned as something in the offseason, but obviously a shocker. Keenan Allen leaving the Los Angeles Chargers, headed to Chicago.
We didn't want to hurt Los Angeles Chargers fans' feelings.
Yeah, by reminding them. But, hey, it's fact. So now that wide receiver room looks like Quentin Johnston,
and
Joshua Palmer, Darius Davis, your punt returner. Obvious position of need, wide receiver, tops the list.
Glaring need.
Offensive line, Corey Lindsley has retired. He's still on this roster. He'll be a post June 1st cut. But really, people that have already been in the room, with the addition of Bradley Bozeman, I got to say, I think they need an upgrade at center. They need to be looking at the right side of that line.
It seems like every team needs to upgrade at center.
True.
So we're not the only ones.
Yeah. And I think at that pick 37, there might be some room for a center.
Okay.
Let's see. But definitely need some help along the offensive line. I think with Will Clapp playing there, the guards did not perform well last year.
Yes.
And if you get a true center, I only imagine that you'll see improvement in those guard positions. On the defensive side of the ball, lots of names gone here. That's part of the story. But here you have Poona Ford coming in. You look at his numbers on PFF and more of a pass rush story than a run stop.
Yes.
Morgan Fox, Tito Abanya, Scott Matlock, all names that were here last year. The edge class, the edge room. All the names are similar here, but the top two took pay cuts to stay. Joey Bosa's back. Khalil Mack is back. I got to imagine this is the last year that we see those two teaming up at edge. I imagine you'll still get plenty of run from Thule when everybody's healthy. You got to keep him on the field. His play obviously diminished once Joey Bosa went down last year, and he had to play more snaps. So hopefully in his second year he can.
He's a swing edge.
Yeah.
You need someone else.
Well, I would say edge is off the board here for a draft pick this year.
But edge
you just
is
have
back on the board for next year.
Yeah, you have 4 guys returning. If they can't get the job done, then obviously the new regime made a mistake.
Yeah.
Inside linebacker, who would have thought that Nick Neiman would be your top performing inside linebacker last year? He's back. He's likely to start.
That's troubling.
With potentially Denzel Perryman next to him, Troy Dye in the room, and Deion Henley, draft pick from last year. I think inside, off-ball linebacker, inside linebacker is an area that needs to be addressed this year.
That's troubling.
Cornerback, obviously the J.C. Jackson signing did not work out.
It did not.
Hard to believe. I think they still got something for him from the New England Patriots. So appreciate that.
Thank you.
Maybe there just wasn't a lot of talent to sign, but, the only addition is Christian Fulton. And Asante Samuel has always been more slot than outside. Maybe you get some run from Dean Leonard or Jasir Taylor. They're here.
Yep.
And but
that's
you definitely need to add talent at cornerback.
Yeah. Yes.
Safeties, Derwin James, not his best year last year. From penalties to other things, definitely need some improvement out of Derwin James this year. Alohi Gilman, solid.
Was fine.
I think you can write his name in pen as one of the safeties. Based off his performance last year, I'm assuming he's only going to get better this year.
Yeah.
JT Woods, what can you say? And the specialists are all intact and back, and yes. I don't anticipate any changes there.
Mm-hmm.
So altogether, I think there's 45 people on the main roster. There's 15 or so, 13 or so reserve future contracts, and 1 practice squad. So there's still plenty of room for additions to this team.
Yep.
You'll add at least, I think there's 9 draft picks that they have. So there's 9 there. Undrafted free agents, going to have to be busy there as well to fill out the roster to get to camp with a 90-man roster. And, potentially some room in late free agency, right?
Yeah.
When I look at this, like we said before, wide receiver, center, the right side of that line with right tackle, right guard, and you probably have to double dip at wide receiver. That room is so bad.
Yes.
On the defensive side, defensive interior, we've talked about this for 3 years running now. Stop the run.
Stop the run.
Still haven't been able to do that.
Still can't.
Hopefully a
stop
shift from...
still can't stop a nosebleed.
Yeah, from a Brandon Staley defense to a Jesse Minter defense.
Yes.
We see some improvement stopping the run. But on the defensive side, defensive interior, linebacker,
corner,
double dip at corner. And, if there's a safety on the board, maybe take a swing. But that's if, you don't see anything else. But that's how we would see it on both sides.
Yes.
And let's see what Daniel Jeremiah had to say.
Okay.
This is 2 years ago where, he bounced from Bernard Raymond to Chris Olave back to Trevor Penning. The pick was ultimately Zion Johnson. Here we have some animation, so that's fun. Last year, Dalton Kincaid, tight end. In his second one, he hit Quentin Johnston. Good for him, bad for the Chargers, because if his mock draft 3.0 would have hit, Zay Flowers would have been a tremendous addition to the Los Angeles Chargers, and maybe we wouldn't have to double dip this year. Obviously, you're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Quentin Johnston, second year rookie.
But he does need to step up.
Yeah, at this point, he's wide receiver 1. And he needs to...
We're freaking...
Plenty of targets to be had from Justin Herbert. And, let's see how it shakes out after the draft.
Catch the ball.
Catch the ball.
Just catch it.
In this year's mock drift, you see right here, Daniel Jeremiah came out with a 5th pick, wide receiver Rome Odunze back in January 19. Rome would still be a great addition. Nobody's going to throw. Nobody's going to shade the Chargers for that.
Yeah, but we've got Quentin is tall.
Oh, you big body. Yeah, we'll see.
We need someone other than a big body.
Yeah. In his second one, he went tackle Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. If the Chargers stick and pick, this is a name that you see quite frequently.
Yeah, Joe
Alt. In his latest March 19th, he has the Chargers trading back with the New York Jets. So going from 5 to 10.
Why?
I think in here...
Why the hell?
I think they say that the Chargers get next year's first, but there's so many gaps on this team.
We don't need...
The compensation of next year's first does not interest me.
We do not need next year's first.
We need
the Vikings.
Yeah, we understand that the Jets are going to be
but...
a dumpster fire anyways, and it would be a high pick, and that's great. But to move back 5 spots to draft Talise Fuaga,
no,
I'm not liking that. But let's see what happens. So he's more leaning tackle than wide receiver for your Los Angeles Chargers. Interesting look. All right. You want to get on to your mock draft?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Which looks better.
All right.
Honestly.
So here it is. And you have so we did 2 mocks. I did a mock before Thomas sat down and did his, which we'll show you. We had 9 players drafted by the same team, same spot in the draft. So we had a large number of the same picks,
Yes.
and we both have the Bears taking Caleb Williams at number 1.
Sure.
And I think everybody's beat this to death, so I don't think we need to talk
Move on.
Caleb Williams.
Move on.
We both had Jaden Daniels. We're buying the smoke that's
Yes.
out there with the Commanders. You know, everybody talking up Jaden Daniels to the Commanders. If we were in charge of the Commanders, would we take Jaden Daniels?
Yes.
You would?
Yes.
Hmm.
Door.
I don't know. At number 3, we start to differ. You have a bold move here by the Patriots to get a wide receiver to the Patriots. You don't have to go into detail of why you did it, but he's elite. Go ahead.
Okay. I got a question for you. If he's generational. All right. If he's generational,
Take him.
if you take a quarterback in this position, who does he have to throw to?
What is it?
A-
KJ Osborne?
Answer: nobody.
Juju?
Ju-
Hunter Henry?
3 names.
Yeah.
3.
All not very great names. So giving Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Jacoby Brissett-led New England Patriots.
You.
I differed. I went Drake May for the Patriots. At number 4, the Cardinals take wide receiver Malik Neighbors out of LSU. I had a difference here. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And so here we go.
I'm good.
You ready?
Yeah.
With the 5th pick, the Los Angeles Chargers
Trade.
trade with the Minnesota Vikings. Once again, we're buying the smoke. But you have them taking Drake May instead of J.J. McCarthy at this 5th pick.
Yes.
We
do
obviously
We do not buy the smoke that
J.J. McCarthy
is elite. If he was elite, Jim, why didn't you let him pass?
let him throw the ball around the yard a
More.
little bit. So you have him going Drake May. I have the Vikings trading up and getting J.J. McCarthy. That's because we were different at that Patriots pick. At number 6, you then have the Giants taking quarterback J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan. And at number 7, offensive tackle Joe Alt to the Titans.
Yes.
This is where we had the same 7 players, just a slightly different order.
Yeah.
Same trade, a little bit different order. At number 8, you had the Falcons edge Dallas Turner from Alabama. I had the Falcons taking Rome Odunze, adding to their offense.
Very elite offense. Now it's time
At the playmaker position, bringing in Kirk Cousins with his Achilles.
Now it's time
to work on that defense.
to work on that defense or offense line at that point.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's good. Good pick.
You know, you got Kirk Cousins coming off of an injury. You don't want another.
Well, you took edge Dallas Turner.
Both positions need help.
All right, I might cut that. Let's see. At number 9, you have the Bears teaming up Rome Odunze with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, all tremendous weapons.
It's
for
another smoke.
rookie quarterback Caleb Williams.
I
had the Bears going Quinyon Mitchell, working on their defense a little bit.
Okay.
And at number 10, we both had Jets selecting tight end Brock Bowers out of Georgia.
Yes.
We're buying that smoke.
Yes.
At number 11, you have the Chargers taking quarterback Quinyon Mitchell out of Toledo. Adding to that cornerback room,
Yes.
super athlete. This, I think, would be a welcome addition to the Chargers defense.
Yes.
I had the Chargers at number 11 selecting defensive interior Byron Murphy II. My thought was, that has been an area of weakness for such a long time. Let's try and stop the run.
Okay.
But
He's got.
But also in a division with Patrick Holmes, it's probably not going to hurt to grab CB1 in the draft, right?
Yes.
So, good call. I like it. At number 12, we both went quarterbacks. You went quarterback Michael Penix Jr. I went quarterback Bo Nix to the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton's disastrous.
Hey,
team.
Denver, you need a quarterback.
They need a new head coach.
They need. Yeah.
That guy's terrible.
Yeah. But y'all need a new quarterback.
I think we should take a moment and just slander Sean Payton some more.
Yes.
I just don't understand any of it. The talk about trading Patrick Surtain during this draft would just show how he is not a great decision maker.
So we got another Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Another old Bill Belichick.
Yeah. The good part is it's Walton money, so it doesn't really count. It doesn't matter. Just throw it away.
Here's the thing as well. Didn't he win a Super Bowl?
Somehow. He had Drew Brees.
He had Drew Brees.
If he could resurrect Drew Brees' career, he might have something. But
yeah. Drew Brees. And didn't he do Bountygate?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All of it.
So the talk about him being a great head coach
is way overblown.
Is
just like Bill Belichick had Tom Brady for a long time. Sean Payton had Drew Brees for a really long time.
Overhyped.
Yeah. He's terrible.
Jesus.
I can't wait for him to get fired.
I can't wait either.
All right, let's move on. Number 13, you have the Raiders taking Byron Murphy II out of Texas. I had them taking quarterback Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah.
At 14, the Saints, you have them taking offensive tackle Olu Fashanu out of Penn State, working on that offensive line to protect one Derek Carr.
Yes,
I know you want Derek to be healthy.
I could take it or leave it.
I had them selecting Talise Fuaga, so we're in the same ballpark. Colts, we both had them taking cornerback Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. I think with this pick, one of the things that stands out is recovering from an injury, came out and ran a 4.4, all kinds of wild stats from his pro day.
Yes.
Probably could play anywhere on the back end and help out any defensive backfield. At 16, we both had offensive tackles coming off the board here. You had Talise Fuaga out of Oregon State. I have Troy Fautanu staying in the area, moving from University of Washington to Seattle. At 17, you had cornerback Terrion Arnold out of Alabama. I had Dallas Turner edge. Bengals, we both had offensive tackle J.C. Latham out of Alabama. I think this is that Orlando Brown on the left side. Jonah Williams leaves. Let's get Joe Burrow some protection.
Yes.
Yep. At 19, you have a trade here. Interesting trade. Rams move from 19 to 29. The Lions come up. They grab center guard Graham Barton out of Duke. Graham Barton's listed as a tackle. They don't need a tackle. Taylor Decker on the left, Penei Sewell on the right. But
They
I
need
do
a
believe the
s-
Lions need a lot of interior stuff, and Graham Barton.
Yeah.
A lot of people project that he can play the interior. And so I like that move by the Lions to be aggressive, get ahead of Pittsburgh, another team looking for a center.
Yes.
And so at 19, I had the Rams taking cornerback Terrion Arnold. I think you have a smarter play there. At 20, you have the Steelers taking Troy Fontenot out of University of Washington. There's flux on the Steelers' offensive line is in flux, trying to get Broderick Jones to the left side. They bring in Troy Fontenot. Maybe he can play the right side. Maybe he kicks into guard or center or does something. Let's see. And I had the Steelers trading with the Niners as part of a Brandon Ayuk trade,
Yeah, that's not.
and the Niners taking Amarius Mims.
That's not.
At 21, you have defensive interior Johnny Newton from Illinois going to the Dolphins. I have Graham Barton landing there. Eagles, we both have wide receiver Adonai Mitchell out of Texas. At 23, you have the Chargers selecting wide receiver Troy Franklin out of Oregon. And oh, by the way, I had them at 23 taking Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU.
Hey, there's a saying in Oregon that the Oregon head coach says, "The grass is always damn green in Eugene." Chargers we're going to Eugene for this pick.
All right. Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that would make sense.
Well,
I
he's,
thought.
I mean, adding wide receiver to the room. Troy Franklin, Brian Thomas Jr., it's needed. Going defense at pick 11, going wide receiver at pick 23.
There's more.
Probably best case scenario for the Chargers
There's
in this
more-
draft if the Vikings really want J.J. McCarthy or Drake May.
There's more wide receiver talent down the board.
There is,
Then-
but the Chargers need some top end, some first round talent in that room, I think.
Yeah,
But
but
let's see. All right. At number 24, you have the Cowboys taking wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU. I had them taking Jackson Powers Johnson. At 25, Packers take edge Jared Verse out of Florida State. I went Olufashanu tackle out of Penn State. At 26, we both have the Buccaneers selecting Laiatu Latu out of UCLA.
Latu.
He is not a tight end. He is an edge. My apologies for that.
he's an edge.
At 27, you have the Cardinals taking offensive tackle Amarius Mims, and I have them taking Johnny Newton, defensive interior Illinois. At 28, we have the Bills. We both have the Bills selecting wide receiver Ladd McConkey out of Georgia.
Yes,
Um,
it's because
with the exit of Stephon Diggs, the exit of Gabe Davis,
they
Josh
need,
Allen remaking that wide receiver room,
they need
they need help.
double dip.
Yeah, they need some wide receiver help. The Rams in that trade, they trade back. They get cornerback Nate Wiggins. I had the Rams going Terrion Arnold. You have them going Nate Wiggins. They move back 10 spots. They probably get some stuff from the Lions, and still get one of the top corners in
I
the
think-
class. I like that.
I think the Lions are more in a win now.
Well, yeah, with the Cam Sutton issues in Detroit, they need to add to their defensive secondary.
Yeah.
At 29, I had Nate Wiggins going at 29, but going to Detroit. So, and then at 30, you have cornerback Kool-Aid McKinstry going to the Ravens. I have Jared Verse finally coming off the board to the Ravens. And you have the Niners going Mike Sanderstill. I have the Steelers in that trade taking Zach Frazier center out of West Virginia.
Isn't that okay?
You have the Chiefs addressing offensive line, Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma. And unfortunately, I have them taking a wide receiver, Troy Franklin.
Yes.
So those are the mocks.
Those are the mocks.
And what do we say about our mocks?
They're always terrible.
Yeah, we guarantee that our mocks are just as terrible as every other mock out there. I don't know. It was kind of fun.
It's kind of fun. Yes.
Lining up 9 picks. I thought that was interesting.
Yes.
Trades, both having the Chargers trade with the Vikings. We both had a second trade, not a trade that you would think you would see. That was interesting.
I honestly do think the Lions are in a win now.
The Lions have usually let the draft come to them in certain circumstances. With they did go get Jameson Williams, but they've always been more of a trade back team outside of Jameson Williams' pick. So maybe it's time for them to be aggressive and move forward. Maybe they don't like to see all the tackles and, maybe they, with Jonah Jackson leaving their center, whether it's Frank Ragnow or Glasgow, I think it's Ragnow. Getting up in age, definitely possible they take a shot, right?
Yeah.
All right. So these are the picks that the Chargers currently have. This is not including the trade that we showed where they potentially could get pick 11 and 23. But if you go out and do your own PFF mock draft simulator, I think generally you find there are wide receivers out there past 69.
But
if you wait past 69 to get your first wide receiver, I think that spells disaster. There are a lot of holes on this team. You got about 3, maybe 4 picks to fill some of those holes. And then the rest of these picks are probably depth.
No.
I mean, they really have to make picks in the top 100 really count. Really count.
Yes. That's why number 5 is...
That's why you got to trade number 5, or you have to stick and pick. You have to either stick and pick Marvin Harrison Jr. if the board breaks right, or take Malik Neighbors, right? I mean, you have to add wide receiver 1 to this room at some point early in this draft.
Because Quentin Johnston acted more like a wide receiver 2.
If you draft Malik Neighbors and Quentin Johnston starts playing like wide receiver number 1, that is a great problem to have. There are plenty of targets. 2 years ago, Austin Eckler had 100 receptions, right?
Yes.
There's plenty of receptions, targets and receptions in this offense.
Well,
even in a Greg Roman offense and Jim Harbaugh.
Yes.
So
we're just going to be more balanced offensively.
Yeah, but when they do decide to throw, there's opportunities. You need quality wide receivers. In those first 2 rounds of this draft, I don't know. You can go past, very far past, round 3 and expect to have somebody that's going to,
yes,
turn quality targets into quality receptions.
It stops at Ladd McConkey.
He's picked. We have him picked 28. We'll see.
Or it actually stops at the wide receiver out of Florida.
Ricky Pearsall.
For me.
Yeah, I think his biggest issue when it comes to the Chargers is where he's valued. It's probably too early to grab him at 37, and he probably won't be there at 69. He's kind of in that in between.
Yeah.
But one thing is, if as a GM and staff, head coach, all that good stuff, if they determine that Ricky Pearsall's the pick at 37, guess what? He's the pick at 37. So you and I can say whatever we want to about value. People out on the internet can say whatever they want to about value. If they say he's the 37th pick in the draft,
Yes.
that's where he went. And then it's on them to make him play like pick number 37, right?
Yeah.
Or better.
Yes.
Anything else before we get out of here?
No.
No? All right. Thank you for joining us. We really wanted to get this episode out. We don't know how good it is of an episode. We know that mocks are terrible, but we wanted to make sure that we at least got our, third year in a row, third annual mock draft out there into YouTube space.
Yes.
So we appreciate it. Don't know when we'll be back, but hope you enjoyed this one. Have a great day. Enjoy the draft. Take care. Bye.
Bye.